I am probably one of the few people who are going to tell you that they are confident the Chiefs will win this Sunday in Buffalo by more than one score. The Chiefs are going to win this weekend in Buffalo by 2 scores, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm so confident in this video. So the first thing I want to address is the Bills have played pretty well this year. They have a 5-2 record. They are the number 4 offense, the number 9 defense. Looking at their SRS scores, which are adjusted based on how every other team has played in the NFL, they have the 7th best offense and the 18th best defense. So how can their defense be top 10 while also the SRS score has them close to the bottom third of the league? I will tell you exactly why. The average opponent that the Bills have faced have had an offensive rank of 21st in the NFL. The average opponent they have played defensively has had a rank of 21st in the NFL. On average, the Bills have been playing the bottom third of the NFL through 7 games. Their schedule, their strength of schedule, has been the second easiest in all of the NFL. The only team who has had an easier schedule than the Buffalo Bills has been the New England Patriots, who are the team that is sitting in front of them in the AFC East standings. Their Week 1 matchup versus Baltimore was an all-timer. Amazing game. Went down to the wire. They won at the very last second of that game, 41-40. Came back from like 15 down with 4 minutes left in the game. It was unbelievable. It was inspiring football to watch. It was great to see. Then they saw the New York Jets. Then they played Miami. Then they played New Orleans. 3 awful opponents in a row. You could argue that Baltimore became a bad opponent, but that first week of the season, they were somewhat healthy. They had issues along the defensive side of the ball, but that Baltimore team was expected to be good at that point in time in the season. Then they faced the Patriots at home after facing New Orleans, and they lost that game 20-23. New England has the number 8 offense and the number 4 defense in the NFL right now. Once again, those numbers are inflated because of the terrible schedule they've played. They have played the easiest schedule in the NFL, the Patriots have. So I believe that number 8 offense and that number 4 defense would be worse than they actually are if they played some solid competition. Then they went to Atlanta before their bye after playing the Patriots. They lost that game by a score of 14-24. Going into that game, the Ravens were 2-3 or 3-3, something like that. And they had the 28th ranked offense and the 13th ranked defense. Bad loss for the Bills, which I think is signs of the foundation cracking for Buffalo. Then they went on their bye. Then they went to Carolina. They won that game 40-9. So they smoked the Panthers after the bye. A lot of things went wrong for the Panthers in that game. And the Panthers are a 4-4 team at this moment, so they're not a terrible team. It was a good win for the Bills. But still, I think problems remain for this Bills team, and I will explain why. So first of all, Vegas likes Kansas City in this game. They have the Chiefs favored by 1 point. Based on SRS scores, that's a bad line. If this game were played in a neutral field, the Chiefs would be 7-point favorites based on SRS scores. Since they're playing in Buffalo, that 3 points gets added to Buffalo's line. That means that really Buffalo should be a 4-point favorite in this game. I don't know where those 3 points are coming from in terms of Vegas's line that they're setting, but as long as the bets are balanced on either side, they're going to keep it at 1. But in my opinion, the line should be much higher in the Chiefs' favor than what it actually is. And the reason for that is because of the matrix math, the SRS scores that go into the offensive and defensive side of the ball. to evaluate where the Chiefs sit and where the Buffalo Bills sit and what their point spread should be. Kansas City has a 7th-ranked offense in the NFL and the 2nd-ranked defense. Based on SRS score, they have the 10th ranked offense and the 3rd-ranked defense. So if you look at these numbers between the Bills and the Chiefs, the Bills number 4 offense, number 9 defense, but the 7th SRS score, the 7th offensive SRS score, and the 18th best defensive SRS score. Then you look at the Chiefs, the number 7 offense, number 2 defense, the number 10 offensive SRS score, and the number 3 defensive SRS score. The Chiefs' numbers line up more reasonably. They're closer to what their SRS scores say they are. The Bills are not. The Bills' SRS scores are a little bit more off, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I think that it's not going to be the Bills' offense that lets them down in this game versus Kansas City. It's going to be their defense. Their defense already towards the bottom third of the league based on defensive SRS score, and then you add an injury to perhaps their best defensive player, or at least in my opinion, the player that has caused the Chiefs the most problems, and that's Ed Oliver. He tore his biceps. He's on the IR now, and he will not be playing in this game versus the Chiefs. They also recently lost Taylor Rapp.
ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the book. ProfitX offers sweepstakes-based dual currency system, either profit points or profit cash, and operates across 40 states. Use the promo code RGR and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. ProfitX gives you the best lines in the space, and you can even set your own odds on specific wagers on your players, all at ProfitX. Go there and use the code RGR. Terms and conditions apply.
2 players who have done well versus the Chiefs in this, awesome matchup between these 2 teams over the past several years. This, to me, seems like it could be a tipping point for the Bills' defense. I expect Kansas City to go into Buffalo and score a lot of points. I don't think they're going to have a hard time moving the ball. The Chiefs have to do some very simple things to play well offensively in this game, and it's simply just don't turn the ball over and don't commit a ton of penalties. You do these things, you execute the offense, you will move the ball versus this Buffalo Bills defense. Looking at the Bills' offense, this is a bad matchup for Buffalo. And I know that you might disagree with me, but hear me out. This Bills' offense is currently constructed a lot like the Baltimore Ravens offense. And if you look at this team, they don't have any blue chips at wide receiver. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. Their leading receiver is Shakir, who is, he would be like the number 3 receiver on the Chiefs offense currently. That's their best receiving option. They have Dalton Kincaid. He's an okay tight end. And then they have Palmer, Keon Coleman, and then maybe Gabriel Davis will come back. Maybe he'll be ready this weekend, but I'm not sure. The Bills are asking an awful lot of Josh Allen, and they decided to pair Josh Allen with James Cook, who they gave a big contract to, and are using James Cook to take a lot of the pressure off of Allen. Once again, this reminds me of Baltimore's offense. Very good rushing attack. You have a quarterback that can run at any given time, but you don't really have any blue chips catching the ball. And this plays really into what Spagnuolo does well and what he asks his defense to do. And also what his players on defense are physically capable of. We get angry all the time. Why don't the Chiefs have a speed rusher? Why don't they have a pass rusher if they can get to the quarterback really quickly? Why does Spags insist on having these heavier set defensive ends that, don't move like a bolt of lightning? And it's for games like this. because the defensive linemen for the Chiefs, especially their edge defenders, are very strong. They're good at setting the edge. They're good at minding their gaps. And they're good at making running backs have to bounce outside, where the Chiefs have the speed at linebacker, have good players in the secondary that can tackle. And you might see James Cook trying to hit the boundary a lot in this game, and it's just not there. And the reason for that is because of the way that the Chiefs' defense is constructed. This is Steve Spagnuolo's design. So I think that this Bills offense is reliant on both James Cook running the ball and reliant on Josh Allen scrambling. I'm going to say something that you might think I'm crazy for saying, but in this game, if the Chiefs just make Josh Allen beat them with his arm, they trust their secondary to man up or zone cover these receivers for the Bills, of which none are blue chips. None are go-to guys that you can rely on at any given time. This is a terrible matchup for the Bills. I think that the Chiefs' goal in this game defensively is to leave a spy on Josh Allen, keep Josh Allen in the pocket, don't let him get outside the pocket, and then stop Cook. So basically give Josh Allen the Lamar Jackson treatment, make him beat you with his arm, which I know sounds crazy, but NFL games are played by usually a majority 22 players. 11 of those players are on offense, and only one of those players is the quarterback. You need 10 other guys on offense playing well, of which 3 or 4 of those guys are the guys catching the ball. And I am not sold on the guys that are catching the ball for the Bills, particularly against the likes of Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Noel Williams, who's coming along very nicely. Hicks has been doing better in coverage. Connor, yes, he's a liability, but he's good in spot coverage. So this Chiefs defense, I think, is really set up nicely to have a good game against the Bills. And once again, the Bills have not played but one top 10 defensive team. That's the Patriots. They scored 20 points. They played the Falcons, who had a number 13 defense. They scored 14 points on the road. Of the Bills' opponents, they have played 2 teams who are in the top half of the league defensively, and it's New England and Atlanta. They lost both of those games, and they averaged 17 points per game in those 2 matchups. Because of this, I am very bullish on the Chiefs in this game. I am predicting the Chiefs are going to win once again by more than 1 score. They're going to win by 2 scores by a score of 31-20. Kansas City beats Buffalo in a game that really doesn't stress us out too much as Chiefs fans. I'm very confident the Chiefs are going to come out with a W in this game, and I hope my reasoning was good enough for you. But as always, thank you for sticking around. We're about towards the end of the video. Hit that like button if you've not done so already, and then subscribe. We appreciate everyone who subscribes, watches our content, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you for giving me this platform to spout my nonsense. But this is Gary signing out. Y'all take it easy, and once again, I predict a big win for the Chiefs this weekend. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree. Take it easy.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.